Hello everyone, I'm the MoeChicken and welcome back to more Castlevania Symphony Night in the Clock Tower, where they have that cool one part that goes and then you have to wait for the whole song again. In the last episode, we started on our journey through the Clock Tower, on our way to wherever, because I'm just kind of wandering around. I'm going to places I haven't been yet. I'm killing this flail knight over there. And I also made a cliffhanger in the last episode that I said I would talk about this time, so I will now. And it relates to the recently released spiritual successor, so I say, of this game called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Ritual of the Night. A game that was released for a variety of systems. I have it on PS4, and I think my friend has it on Steam and Switch, so it's on different things. And it's really cool. So the sort of story behind it is that the sort of, I think he was the director of this game, Koji Igarashi. When, I guess, a couple of years ago, apparently he decided to leave Konami because he was frustrated that Konami was not allowing him to make games like this, like games that he thought he would sell, would be great games, like Castlevania stuff, and they were just like focusing mostly on, from what I understand, they mostly make pachinko games now and don't make video games anymore. I don't know, but I can't confirm that, but sorry. Apparently he got fed up with it and decided he wanted to get out on his own, and what he decided to do was sort of have a Kickstarter to determine if any fans would buy another game like this. And he was like asking for, I don't know, like 500,000 or something. That was his goal. And apparently he just blew it out of the water. Like, so many people were so excited about the idea of another Castlevania-like game, like another exploration Castlevania game, that they just donated lots and lots of money. And it was like one of the more, I think it was like one of the most successful Kickstarters or some. By the way, what I'm doing, I'm filling out the map, so give me a sec. But yeah, that, so I was also one of the backers. I backed at a relatively low tier. I didn't pay a ton, so I didn't get all the sweet stuff. Isn't that always the way, like, whenever you support something and you're like, like when it first starts out, you're like, well, I want to support it, but I mean, I don't want to break the bank, I'll just get this. And then later on, when it finally comes out, you're like, man, why didn't I pay more money? Why didn't I support this more and get like the super cool stuff? Did I fill that area out? Okay, I got one more spot underneath me. Also, it looks like I missed something in the long library. Oh well. But yeah, I backed it, and so I got my copy not too long ago. And I played through it like in a week. Like, I couldn't do anything else. I would go to work all day, then I would just come home and play Bloodstained and go to sleep, and then do it again. Oh, it completely absorbed my life for like a week and a half. And I loved it. I had a great time doing it. Because what's really great about that game is that it has the same sort of fascination that these games have. Like, if you enjoy this type of Castlevania game, and not everybody does, I understand that, but if you like this kind of game where you like wander around, you explore, and you get like power-ups, and you have to level up, and all kinds of stuff like that, if that's your jam, then this game will scratch that itch, because I feel like for a long time, we didn't really, well, okay, I was gonna say we didn't have any of those. That's not true. There have been so many of this type of game on like Steam and stuff, and I just don't know about them because I don't play Steam games that often. And what was I saying? So yeah, I just think, like, I don't know if it's because Koji Igarashi did it, or if it's because, you know, I wanted it to be good because I've waited several years to play it, or what. But it's great, and I loved it, and I wholly recommend it. And one of the things that you can see from it, that reflects, so, you know, the what do you call it, the production process of this, is that there are also like a lot of things which are just unique to the area you find them in. Like, They have no other purpose other than just be interesting set dressing. And like there's so many environments and blah blah blah. It's really good. If you like this kind of game, go play Bloodstained. It's worth it. But yeah, except oh, this guy. Okay, so this all over the place. Sorry. This is the guy I was talking about before. This is the Cloaked Knight, and that is what appears to be the backside of a giant clock. This guy drops the Heaven Sword. He has 2 drops. Both of them are relatively rare. And he drops a Flamberge, which is the sword he's got just kind of floating around. And he drops the Heaven Sword, which is his rarer of the 2 drops. And I killed this guy so many times. I fought this guy so many times just trying to get that drop because my friend had it and I wanted to. And yeah, it took a while. I did eventually get it. I did eventually get it on my first time through the game, but like, among other things, I didn't know about it because I didn't get it when I first came through here. And my friend, who had gone a different way from me at that point, came here after me. He found the Heaven Sword, and I had to go back and get it because it sounded so dang cool. And it is so dang cool. Also, there's a Heaven Sword in, speaking of Bloodstained, there's a Heaven Sword in that game too, and it's cool. It's called the Flying Edge. Super sweet. Go get it. It's a good time. Now, something I didn't know about this game until an endeavor I embarked upon recently, wherein I decided I wanted to try to get all of the items in the game, which, mind you, took a long time. It took quite a while. I had to get, like, equipment, like item drop lists and all kinds of other things, because there are a lot of things that you can get in this game. But one of the things that I found that was really cool is that there are a lot of very unique weapons that you can get in this game, which is, in its own way, kind of mysterious. Like, okay, so, an example. I was just talking about the Heaven Sword and how it goes out like a boomerang and comes back. Well, I didn't realize this before, but that's not the only weapon in the game that does that. There is also a weapon called I believe it's called the Rune Blade or the Rune Sword, something to that effect, Rune something, that you can get from the Dodo Bird monsters in the Reverse Castle. They were just rocks. I don't know why. That does the same sort of thing, but with like a wider arc. It kind of flies differently, so it's less likely to hit things on the way back, but it's more likely to hit things on the way going out. Anyway, it's a really cool thing that you would only get if you were looking for it, and that's what kind of bothers me a little bit. Like, I could understand the idea that the designers did want to reward you for finding something that was hard to find. Fine, I get that. What bothers me is that I feel like most people won't find it, and it's so neat. You know, it's like it's a really useful thing to get that's really, really easy to miss. Like, I remember the first time I played Symphony of the Night, I pretty much just used like basic weapons that I just found here or there. And like all the really cool drop weapons, I was able to kick down that stone wall with my mighty Maria kick. All those like cool rare drop weapons, didn't get any of them. Didn't get the Chrysogram, didn't get the Heaven Sword until I was told about it. Didn't get the Rune Blade. Didn't get a bunch of them. Well, one that I didn't get is the Daybreak Sword, but that's just because I didn't find it. And I just sort of feel like they could have made the drops easier to find. That's my opinion. But I mean, on the other hand, finding stuff is the fun in these games. So there you go. I believe up ahead here is the Crow Dude. I think who is among the easiest bosses in the game, if I remember correctly. Let's see. He is with Alucard, because every time you hit him, he goes into the corner, and you just do this until he's dead. This is what you do. This is how you fight him. It's easy. It's not hard. You just keep doing this. How y'all doing out there? Having a good day? Having a good time? I'm just killing this here crow. It's a good time. Just hanging out, you know, working on the railroad, killing crows with knives. Not a big deal. Oh, hey! He actually allowed him to land. Never mind. Look at that, he hit me. What do you know? I've never seen these attacks because I've never allowed him to do this. Alright, there you go. You summon crows. That's interesting. It's kind of cool to see all these things because I've never seen those attacks, but he's also dead now, so there's that as well. And it looks like we're coming up on time, so I will bid you guys adieu for now. I am the MoeChicken, this is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, that's a really red moon, and thanks for stopping by.